Ladies and gentlemen, pain is a part of life. No one escapes it. It's the universal tax we all pay for being human. Some people let pain define them, break them, bury them, but not you, not here, not today. See the pain you're carrying, that heartbreak, that betrayal, that failure, that loss, it's not your curse, it's your catalyst. It's the raw material, the fuel, the fire, but only if you choose to use it. Let me make this clear. Pain is not the end. It's the beginning if you have the guts to face it, dissect it, and build from it. Most people numb it, drink it away, scroll it away, excuse it away. They get comfortable in their misery because it's familiar, because it gives them a story. But here's the truth. No one's coming to save you. The world doesn't owe you healing. That's your job. You either sit in the ashes or you rise from them. And the rising, that's where the power is. That's where you stop being a victim of your story. You want to build something great, a business, a body, a mindset, a legacy, then start by turning inward. That pain, that's your edge. That's your reason. That's the reminder of what happens when you let life happen to you instead of taking command and happening to life. Let me tell you something they won't teach you in school. Your most powerful version doesn't come from comfort. It comes from war, internal war. The moments you feel broken, when you're gasping for clarity in the chaos, that's where transformation is forged. You don't grow in the light. You grow in the dark. You grow when you take all that pain and use it as leverage. And brick by brick, you build a new standard. But none of this matters if you don't act. You've got to move, even if it's ugly, even if it hurts, especially because it hurts. Pain sharpens you if you let it. You've got to decide right now that you're done being shackled by what happened to you. You're going to use it, you're going to weaponize it, and you're going to make it the reason you win, not the excuse you don't. So when the world throws more pain your way, and it will, you won't flinch. You'll smile because now you know the secret. Pain isn't your prison, it's your power. And no one can take that from you. Let's be real, no one is coming to fix it for you. That pain you feel, that weight on your chest when you wake up, the regret that stalks you in silence, the shame you carry around like a second skin, it's yours. And it's yours for a reason. That pain is trying to teach you something. It's trying to hand you a gift, but you've got to be willing to unwrap it with bloody hands. People talk about finding their purpose like it's some magical destination you stumble into when everything's perfect. Let me tell you, purpose isn't found in calm waters. It's born in the storm. It's found on your knees in your darkest hours when no one's watching and you have nothing left to give, but you get up anyway. That's where the real ones are made. You think champions are born from talent, from perfect circumstances? No. They're carved out of chaos, molded by pressure, forged in pain. They're the ones who didn't quit, the ones who looked pain in the face and said, "You will not beat me, you will build me." Every time life knocked them down, they got back up. Not because they weren't hurt, but because staying down was more painful than pushing forward. There's a moment in every warrior's life where they've got to decide, do I use this as a chain to drag me deeper into hell, or do I use it as a rope to climb out? That's the choice. That's the defining split in the road. That's where the strong are separated from the average. And make no mistake, average is easy. Average is seductive. Average doesn't ask much of you, but average costs you everything. It costs you your potential, your legacy, your self-respect. You can't sleep peacefully at night when you know you've settled. You can't look in the mirror with pride if you've let your pain define you instead of drive you. You've got to decide you're done playing small. You've got to take all that pain and turn it into momentum. That heartbreak, use it to love harder, to become more intentional with your time. That failure, use it to build something stronger, smarter, faster. That trauma, use it to protect the people you care about, to become a light in someone else's darkness. Nothing you've gone through has to be wasted, unless you waste it. Pain is pressure, but pressure creates diamonds. Pressure pushes your limits. Pressure introduces you to your real self. And if you can take it, if you can stay in the fire long enough without running, you'll come out sharper, tougher, more focused than you've ever been. But you can't just wish your pain into power. You've got to work it there. You've got to get disciplined. You've got to get relentless. Stop looking for hacks. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop blaming your parents, your past, your ex, your boss. You are responsible for what happens next, not them, not the world, you. Your next chapter doesn't get written unless you pick up the pen. And sometimes that pen is dipped in blood. That's the truth. No one wants to hear. Healing isn't pretty. Growth isn't pretty. Evolution. You know what pain really gives you? Clarity. It strips away the lies, the distractions, the fake friends, the shallow goals. When you've been through real suffering, you stop playing small. You stop wasting time. You stop tolerating mediocrity from yourself and everyone around you. Pain teaches you who you are, but more than that, it shows you who you can become. If you lean in, if you stop numbing and start building. And building starts with deciding you are no longer available for the old version of yourself. That version that doubted, that procrastinated, that played the victim. That's not you anymore. You've got to show up different now, with purpose, with grit, with scars that don't hold you back. They remind you who the hell you are. Those scars are proof that you survived, proof that you didn't fold. So stop hiding them, wear them like armor. Let them be the evidence that you've been through hell and came out carrying fire. You think confidence comes from winning? It doesn't. It comes from surviving things you thought would destroy you, from putting one foot in front of the other when you didn't even believe in the outcome. Yet, that's real power. That's what no one can take from you. And when you start stacking those wins, small ones day by day, something shifts. You start seeing yourself different. You start holding yourself to a higher standard. You stop negotiating with your weakness. You stop needing validation from people who wouldn't last a day in your shoes. Let me tell you something, bro. Most people are addicted to their pain, but they're terrified of their potential. Because stepping into your power means there's no more hiding, no more excuses, no more blame. Just you and the work, just you and the responsibility, just you and the mission. And you are on a mission, whether you know it or not. A mission to become who you were meant to be, not the watered down version, not the compliant, fearful version that the world tries to mold you into, the real version, the one that's buried under all the baggage. That version comes alive when you stop running from your pain and start confronting it with intention. So ask yourself, what are you going to do with it? Keep carrying it like a curse or start using it like a weapon? That pain is not here to punish you. It's here to provoke your potential. It's the pressure that reveals the strength you forgot you had. Every morning you wake up, you've got two choices. Stay shackled to your story or rise into your power. That's it. No middle ground, no gray area. The moment you stop negotiating with yourself, the moment you commit fully, the game changes. Your energy shifts. Your focus locks in, and suddenly your pain isn't baggage, it's fuel. You start to realize that the very thing that tried to break you is now what drives your discipline. The rejection, it built your resilience. The failure, it taught you strategy. The loss, it taught you presence. You don't need comfort, you need purpose. And if no one ever told you this before, let me say it now. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be broken. You're allowed to cry, but you are not allowed to give up. Not after everything you've been through. Not after all the nights you spent trying to hold it together. You didn't come this far just to stop here. You're being called to rise. You're being called to lead. You're being called to become someone who's unbreakable. Not because you never felt pain, but because you felt all of it and still move forward. You want real fulfillment? Stop chasing happiness, chase meaning. And you don't find meaning by avoiding pain. You find it by giving your pain a purpose. You turn it into your platform. You let it push you to build something so strong, so undeniable, that even your demons stand back in awe. This is the season where you stop surviving and start dominating. Where you stop being a product of what happened to you and start becoming a product of what you choose to do with it. And you'll look back one day and realize the worst thing that ever happened to you became the best thing that ever happened to you because it forced you to level up, to wake up, and to never go back. This is how you turn your pain into power. Because once you've turned your pain into power, you stop waiting for permission, you stop asking for approval, you stop needing the world to understand you, you become self-directed, self-made, self-fueled. People look at you and they see the strength, but they don't see what it cost you. They don't see the nights you broke in silence, they don't see the sacrifices, they don't see the internal war that you fought every single day just to keep moving. And that's fine. They don't need to see it. You know, that's enough. There's a certain kind of person the world can't handle. Someone who's been through hell and still chooses to build, still chooses to serve, still chooses to grow. And that person can't be manipulated, can't be broken, can't be silenced. You become a force, not because everything's easy, but because you've learned how to lead yourself through the hardest parts. So when life hits you again, and it will, you won't collapse like you used to. You'll recognize it for what it is, another invitation, another test, another chance to go deeper, to become sharper, to show the universe you are not here to play small. You are here to build. You are here to impact. You are here to dominate. See, pain is a compass if you pay attention. It points you to where the work needs to be done. It reveals what matters. It shows you what you are blind to. When you lean into it, really lean in, you stop seeing it as the enemy. You start seeing it as your teacher. Because the truth is, growth and comfort never coexist. If you want a life that's uncommon, you've got to be willing to do uncommon things. You've got to be willing to sit in the discomfort longer than most people are willing to sit in their excuses. Let everyone else talk. Let them complain. Let them gossip, scroll, and spiral into their distractions. You've got work to do. You've got a mission that's bigger than your pain, and that mission requires urgency, focus, fire, because no one's handing you your dreams. No one's going to knock on your door and offer you a better life. You've got to take it. You've got to go get it. Bruises, scars, and all. Every excuse you make is a chain. And every time you own your pain and choose action over avoidance, you break a link. Eventually, you're free. You're free not because the pain disappears, but because it no longer controls you. You become the kind of person who walks through fire and comes out stronger, clearer, more dangerous in the best way. That's when everything shifts. That's when you start leading with confidence, not because life is easy, but because you know you've built the tools to handle it when it isn't. You trust yourself. That trust, that's power. That's unshakable. And it only comes from reps, from showing up when it would have been easier to quit, from doing the work when no one's watching, from turning your pain into discipline, into vision, into fuel. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting to feel ready. That pain you feel right now, that ache in your chest, that tightness in your gut, that's the signal. That's the green light. That's your moment to build. Let it drive your fitness. Let it drive your finances. Let it drive your leadership. Let it drive your relationships. Let it drive your purpose. You know what doesn't get enough credit? Relentlessness. Most people stop when it gets hard. You won't. You can't. You know too much now. You've been through too much. And if you let that pain harden you into someone who doesn't feel, you lose. But if you let that pain refine you into someone who feels deeply, loves boldly, serves relentlessly, people are going to doubt you. They're going to judge you. They're going to misunderstand you. And that's fine. Let them. They haven't walked through your fire. They haven't carried your weight. They haven't had to rebuild themselves in the dark. You owe them nothing. But you do owe it to yourself to rise, to become who you were meant to become before life tried to beat it out of you. There's a version of you on the other side of this pain that is stronger, more focused, more fulfilled than you can even imagine. But you don't get there by wishing, you get there by working, by stepping into the pain, not away from it, by using every scar as a reminder that you survived and as a promise that you will not stay where you are. And when you do that, when you keep going despite the weight, when you keep building despite the fear, when you keep serving despite the scars, everything changes. People will ask you how you did it, how you overcame so much, how you found the strength, and you'll tell them the truth. You didn't find it. Other mornings when you woke up with doubt but chose discipline instead, you'll look back and realize that the pain wasn't in the way. It was the way. It gave you the edge. It gave you the fire. It gave you the obsession with growth that most people will never understand, and that's okay. Because you're not doing this to be understood. You're doing this to become. To become the leader your younger self needed, to become the protector your family can count on, to become the builder of a legacy that your future generations will point to and say, that's where it started, that's who turned the tide. You have that power right now, not tomorrow, not when it's easier, not when the pain goes away, now. Because if you can act while it still hurts, you become unstoppable. If you can move while you're bleeding, you become legendary. The world doesn't need more comfort seekers, it needs warriors. It needs people who've turned their wounds into weapons, their trials into tools, their breakdowns into breakthroughs. And when you become that person, you don't just change your life, you change everyone around you, your kids, your team, your community. They feel it. They see it. They learn what's possible, not because you told them, but because you showed them. This is the game. This is the standard. This is the opportunity. Pain isn't the end of your story. It's the part that makes the rest worth reading. It's the spark, the ignition, the moment where everything begins to shift. If you're in pain right now, don't numb it. Don't bury it. Don't escape it. Use it. Let it remind you. Let it drive you. Let it shape you into someone who doesn't just survive, but build something so powerful, so unshakable that pain becomes your legacy, not your limit. So now the question isn't if you've been through pain. We all have. The real question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep carrying it like a burden, or are you finally ready to turn it into fuel? This isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and moving anyway. It's about deciding that your past doesn't get to write your future. You've got everything you need, not because it's easy, but because you're still here, breathing, standing, capable of more than you've ever tapped into. The pain you've lived through didn't come to destroy you. It came to wake you up. And now you know. Now you can choose. Let the world watch as you rise. Let your pain become your proof. Let your power be the legacy.